Gotta love technology. App crashed or something. Phone didn't overheat, just something with the app. So some type of streaming error. And it wouldn't let me just kill the app and restart the app, so I had to do a quick refresh on the phone, restart on the phone, and start the app again. So we're back. Hello. Yeah, something in the app crashed. Siren said some streaming error or something. Wasn't the phone that overheated this time. Just something with the app. It happens every once in a while. Technology isn't perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was just said some type of streaming error and just crashed the app. So we just deal with the problems as they arise. Click, 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 click. I don't like running my hazards. They're annoying to listen to. I didn't even realize. I think that's Sasnak's Superfan in front of the 300Z. Yeah, this Cadillac had rolled with us for a while, and I guess he peeled off for like a week or so, and he's back. Can you guys actually hear my hazards going off? Yes. Sorry, guys. I guess because I'm bringing up the tail, I was asked to run my hazards. Yep. It's a pretty big one. Let's see. There it goes. Goes off there pretty far into the distance. So yeah, pretty substantial wind farm. I have to admit, I think they look pretty at night, you know, with the red lights, the red warning lights. It's kind of eerie because they all blink at the same exact time.
Hey, Boots, you got your ears on?
Tired. I'm just running them because I'm at the very tail. That way people are catching up to us, kind of know what's going on. We try not to have most people in the convoy running hazards because of the fact that some vehicles, their brake lights don't activate when their hazards are on. But because my Chevy trailer is wired with separate brake lights and turn signals, my hazards still work and my brake lights still come on. Good morning, Daddy Frank. Where have you been all my life? You abandoned me. Yeah, that would work. I don't know where the blinky truck is that normally sits here and says convoy ahead. Beep. Looks like Sasnak Superfan is stopping at a rest area. First night I slept, I went to bed at like 7 o'clock, so I missed the little tractor pull thing. You know, it is what it is. Then I slept till about 7, so 7 to 7 roughly, which was nice. I definitely need to take a day and just crash, just sleep the entire day away. Hopefully once we get to wherever we end up in DC, I can just literally have a down day, catch up on some sleep. I am very tired. Yeah, I missed the race last night too. Kind of wanted to go, but you guys saw how my night kind of went. Brakes that didn't need to be fixed and generators that just needed the fuel switch turned on. You'd be surprised how often I have to go and fix stuff like that. But again, you know, that lady's going to feel confident that her brakes are fine, and you know, the guy that was using the generator will probably never make that mistake again. Um, 007 was running tail, and he asked me while he runs up to the front to sit back here with my flashers. That way anybody that's coming up behind us knows, you know, that we're going a little slower than the speed limit, which is funny because we are, but we're doing 65, which is very rare for the convoy. We're about 5 miles under the speed limit, but usually we're only doing about 45. So I'm a little surprised we're actually doing, well, now we're down to 60. We're probably catching up with the pack. flag. Don't know why the Cadillac pulled out of line. Yep, I fixed Grandma's door handle, and I did Sasnak Superfan front brakes. With the way his wheels were, we really couldn't see how thick his pads were. It looked like they were into the holder pretty deep. When we took them off, or when we took the wheel off, you know, we could have probably just put it back on. But I mean, there's a level of when they start to get a little thin. I mean, he may have been able to go and make it to DC, but at that point we would have had to replace them anyways. You don't want to run your pads too thin. You do that, and you get to the point where they do what's called delaminating. The actual brake material gets so hot that it'll actually de-glue from the metal backing, and you know, so it's not good to run them down to next to nothing. So he did Oreo Express's brakes.
Yeah, I passed through it. Got off on the exit. I'm getting ready to get back on. It looks pretty good.
So my understanding is he did Oreo Express's brakes last night. I would have done them if Oreo would have came and asked me. No, a few people have said he did Oreo Express's brakes. So, yeah, I didn't witness it, but that's what people have said. Okay, so you didn't do them yesterday? Okay. I don't know. That's the way the chat was saying, is that he did them yesterday. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that was really nice, that guy coming out and doing Joe's belt. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I actually felt really bad that I wasn't able to get to that. Yeah.
Thanks. Patriots on the bridge.
Yeah. Well, you know. myself something to wake me up.
Oh, is where I was born. The state until I was actually, because I'm a big deal around here. Where are you again? You drop the deal. I probably agree with you. Come back on in.
Well, I kind of touched on that last night. I caught a little bit of why you didn't come with the convoy. You know, I was saying last night that, you know, right now this is kind of the only game in town, you know. We really need to come out and support this convoy, because maybe this isn't the mission that you feel is important, but keeping the convoy strong and helping them with this one is just a stepping stone to the next thing that they're going to move on to. So, you know, by helping out the convoy right now and coming out and supporting, then when they do end up on a mission that you're more interested in or you feel has more impact, the convoy actually will be a force for change. So, you know, yeah, maybe this isn't the mission that you want us to be on, but, you know, the next one might be. So by helping us now, makes the convoy stronger, makes them have a louder voice to affect real change. So yeah, you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith that we're out here doing the right thing for the right reasons. And once we get this handled, we're gonna move on to the next big issue. And that might be the issue that matters to you. And you know, unfortunately, if we can't accomplish what we're trying to do here, you know, then it putters out. And then when we'd want to go and do that issue that's more interesting to you, we don't exist anymore. So, you know, just something to think about. So, you know, we may not be advocating for exactly what you want right now, but we're trying to make the country back the way it should be. So, yeah. So even if you don't 100% agree with what we're doing, you don't fully understand the message, keep in mind, we're out here trying to make everything better. And once we get this put to bed, then we'll move on to the next thing. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Anthony. Good morning. Good afternoon from the UK. yeah, we need to get more people involved so that people can sit here and come and go, and we still have some numbers and people can make money. And you know, well, that's definitely unfortunate. Yeah. But I mean, Santa and Trucker G weren't originally part of the organization originally either. So, I mean, you know, maybe putting boots on the ground there, guy.
Brake check 22, brake check 22.
Let them understand that you know what you're talking about, and that you have good ideas and affect change from within, you know? Right now, you're on the outside yelling in, you know? If you actually came here, you met the people, they started to get to understand you and get your vibe, you know, then maybe they would listen to you a little bit more, you know. You gotta understand that, you know. Got a Dixie horn. That one actually sounded halfway decent too. I can't read these long comments. I appreciate that you try and talk to me, and I actually am interested in what you have to say. Definitely do me a favor if I do another Mechanics Live late at night. Bring this stuff up. I'd like to read it. There, guy. But you know, there's just too much information, and I got to keep my eyes on the road. So I apologize. I do want to see what you're saying, but I can't read paragraphs. And I've got nobody to read them to me. Everything he said, but
Lane 1 Convoy when it's safe to do so.
run a shop.
Lane
Run a
Truck coming up through on the hammer lane, be careful.
I don't mind hearing constructive, differing opinions. You know, I mean, I think that's how a good conversation goes. You know, if everybody's a yes man, then nothing really
Patriots
gets
on the bridge.
accomplished.
Patriots on the bridge.
Nothing gets overly accomplished. And maybe I'm not seeing something because I'm too into the problem, so I'm not looking at it from the outside. So it's always good to hear and listen to other people's opinions, as long as they're constructive and they're not nasty and whatnot, But like I said, for right now, it's just not the time because I can't read paragraphs while I'm driving. More people on the bridge. So yeah. Somebody asked me if I run a shop, and transmission got weak, so I waited till it got better. No, I've run a shop before. I've been lead mechanic at a few shops, but I gave up working as a professional mechanic due to the fact that I was starting to have problems with carpal tunnel. Back when I was a mechanic, we didn't have all the electric impacts and ratchets and all that. So I didn't like the air tools. I didn't like the hoses. It always seemed to hinder me during doing work. So I just used hand tools, and it got to a point where working 8 to 10 hours a day, my hands hurt so bad. I was going to end up having to do the surgery for carpal tunnel, and that or just leave the industry. And I honestly just didn't feel fulfilled in that industry anymore. I never did ever find what I would consider a good shop, an honest shop, and I was being pressured to upsell things that I didn't feel needed to be sold just to make the company more money. I understand it from a business aspect. That's their bread and butter, but that just wasn't something that I wanted to do. So I chose to get out of the industry, and that's just the way it is. I moved on to computers. I ended up working for a fairly predominant computer company where we did schools and some government contracts, doing maintenance and repair. I started my own computer company for a while, actually working with disabled people, because it was a real pain for somebody that was in a wheelchair or something like that to be able to take their computer into a computer store. So I did a lot of on-site computer repair for a lot of disabled people, which then also led me into I had a couple of customers that knew I was handy, had me work on their mobility equipment. Then one of the companies that they were friends with needed a mechanic to work on wheelchairs and wheel lifts and stuff. So I got back into wrenching, but then was doing it on wheelchairs and power lifts and things like that. And then I chose to get my CDL, and I started driving dump truck, and I've been doing that for quite a few years now. So I like being multifaceted when it comes to skills. You know, I'm pretty confident you could drop me off in almost any city, and I could make a living and survive. You know, my mother was an accountant, and I saw how she struggled when, you know, there just wasn't any work in her field. So I've tried to be as multi-skilled in my life as possible, so that way, you know, like I said, you could pretty much drop me off in any city, and I could probably find a job doing something, whether it's computers, electronics, driving truck, wrenching, whatever, you know. So I like being a well-rounded person. I like to learn information. I'm always trying to learn stuff. I like to research new technologies and new things. That's why I knew about the range extender engine that they're trying to build for these electric cars, and the technology behind it. It's really kind of cool. I like it. Home is Wisconsin. I think it's really cool. You know, I like keeping in the know. I still mess around with computers. I've got a few servers and quite a few computers networked together. You know, I try to stay up with the technology so that if the newer operating systems, the, you know, server-based side of stuff, that way if I ever decide to get back into the IT side of it, I can hop back in. I try to keep fresh in it. Automotive, you know, like I said, I mean, a lot of the skills that I had back in the early 2000s still transfer over. You know, wheel bearings are still wheel bearings, brakes are still brakes. You know, I mean, a lot of that stuff hasn't changed. So, you know, the computers are getting a little bit more sophisticated. There's you know, more things that are starting to rely on computers. You know, so at some point, you know, if I had to work on a Tesla, I'd probably be out of my depths. But you know, it is what it is. I do not get any money for parts. I've never gotten any money for parts. Supposedly this new mechanics fund, if I do have to get a part, you know, so far every vehicle I've worked on recently, and normally most of the time in the Convoy, the customer pays for the parts. I just offer the labor. There's only been a few cases where we've had a few people that I know are indigent or on fixed incomes, and it would really pay for it. And that's what I was doing with my Cash App, was I would buy those parts. But for the most part, most people do pay, at least pay for their parts. So yeah, the labor, you know. Then here's another point that a lot of people don't think about. You know, there's a lot of people out there that sit here and say, well, they should just take it to a shop. They should just take it to a shop. There's a lot of times a lot of these shops are booked a week out. You know, you get a week out, we're going to be in DC already. You know, if I consider and I can deal with it in a couple of hours and get them back on the road, you know, then they're with the Convoy. You know, you get a lot of these people, they're flagged out, they've got writing on their car, some of it's in spray paint. You know, it's just not really as safe for them to but you know, help these people who can't afford to go, you know. So here. Just waiting for the ahead of me. You got this. It's a peacup.
The supporter.
Got it.